Hello crafty friends, this is card 37 in the full deck challenge. I have these free recipe magazines that I get from the local supermarket that I'm going to use for today's project. I'm going to go through the magazine and cut out all the colors that I like. So it's going to be colors that are not just solid colors, anything with texture or any solid piece that I think will look good. I'm going to cut more than I need. And I'm not quite sure yet of the color scheme I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut out everything that I like. We could use all the leftovers for a future project. So cut out all the bits and pieces that you like or find appealing. For this project, we don't need big pieces. We're going to cut these things into strips. So we don't need big solid pieces. Just cut out anything that you find interesting, even if there is text on it. This is a glass of some kind of beverage, and I just like the color and all the textures inside and the different shades. So I've cut that out, and then all these beautiful turquoise colors also work really well. It's not too late to join my full deck challenge. Anyone can join at any time, and you can find my group on Facebook. Just search Full Deck Challenge Group. It's a place of great inspiration. It's a lovely community, and you can share your makes and altered playing card projects. You could use any kind of magazine for this, or even cardstock that you have, or any kind of scraps. I'm using this free magazine because I'm trying to show a technique where it is relatively cheap or free to do. The only problem with this kind of magazine is there are lots of goodies that you can eat, and especially when it gets to the desserts, I started feeling hungry. I would really love if you subscribed to my channel and also hit the little notification bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. I have tutorials and process videos coming your way. Once you've finished your cutting, just put your pieces into color piles. We're just going to do this so we can see what we have and which colors we're going to use. I'm going to pick two, and I've decided to go with the blue and the turquoise for this project. All the other pieces I'm not going to throw out. We can definitely use that in another kind of project. We're now going to trim all these strips into thinner strips, and we're going to try and get the strips a similar size as possible. You don't have to measure, just cut them into smaller strips, and they don't have to be this long. They can be shorter, because what we're going to do, we're going to do some paper weaving, and this is how we're going to do it. Start by laying down your strips next to each other vertically, and then you're going to take the piece of another color of paper and weave it in and out at the bottom section. This will be your starting point. And I'm just putting a small dab of glue stick just to try and hold everything together. You don't have to glue everything down solidly, just a little bit on each end just to keep it together. And as you can see, I'm just alternating the weave across horizontally. Once my piece is big enough, I am going to tear it a little bit. I'm not putting a full solid weaving piece on top of my card. I want just a section of it. So I'm just tearing it into a nice shape. I'm letting it hang off the one side, but I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to attach it with Mod Podge to my card face. Now what I didn't notice until I was editing this video is I actually placed the weaving bit upside down. I actually had the other side as the correct side, and I didn't notice at the time. That's okay, it still works out, but I should have noticed that I had flipped it over before I applied the glue. I'm now going to apply some gesso, because gesso is my best friend, and I'm going to apply it over the edges and smudge it in with my finger. This is just to blend the edges so it makes it a bit more cohesive, and it's just not a piece of woven paper that's just stuck down flat. If you find you've covered too much with gesso, while the gesso is wet, just take a baby wipe and wipe it down. It's very, very easy to remove, and you can lighten the areas as you go. I'm going to add some color. I'm going to use my color burst powders. You could use watercolor, acrylics, woody, crayons, pastels, anything that you have. I do like the turquoise of these color burst powders. They are by Ken Oliver, and they're really, really lovely. They're super bright and concentrated, and you only need a very little bit for the color to be very vibrant. So I apply a few specks of the powder and then I spray it with water in my spray bottle. I'm just sort of concentrating on the areas that don't have a weaving, but I am letting the color run into where the weaving is. And then I'm going to now put some watered down acrylic and I'm going to make some splashes as a contrast. I like to add words or sentiments to my cards in my full deck challenge. You definitely don't have to. I found this out of a book that I have, and it says serendipitous, which I thought is a really cool word, and I'm just going to add that just in the top right hand corner, and then I'm feeling it's sort of standing out a little bit and not matching, so I'm going to just go around it with some black. I started with a fine liner, which I then didn't like, so then I've gone to my watercolor pencil. You've probably seen me use this technique before, where I just dip the point of the pencil in some water and then I go around it, and then I just have a small paintbrush with lots of water and I'm just blending it around. Now what you'll notice is while I'm drying this, some of the water is seeping into the text, but I actually don't mind it. It's actually blended it in really well, as you can see, and just adds to the dimension and the character of the card. I really hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to create your own. You can do this kind of paper weaving even in art journaling. I have an art journal page that I've done with paper weaving. I'll link it below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.